All right, guys, how we doing today? Today, we do 5.7, Basic Elimination of Systems. These are our 5 guidelines in which I'll be following to do problems 1, 2, and 3 with you guys. If you need to rewatch this video a few times, please do so. Today's questions are going to be basic because when we get to step 2, we will not be doing any manipulation. That'll be for a later date. So with that said, let's just jump right into number 1. First things first, let's make sure they're lined up. Number 1, I have my x's, my y's, equal signs, and my numbers. My constants all lined up already, so there's really nothing I have to do. Perfect. Now, what you want to look for is your variable terms, your x's and your y's in this case. We want one of them to at least have opposite coefficients. So when I look at my x's, I do. I have a -3 and a +3. Those are opposites. So right away I know I can just jump right into doing this problem. But also, if you guys have already noticed, my y's also are opposites. This doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. And when it does, it's going to be a special case, which we'll talk about in a moment. So let's go ahead and add these together, just like step 3 says, right? Because we already have opposites, so we're in step 3 now. Add like terms in each column. So let's go up and down these rows here. Columns, I should say. -3 plus a +3. Well, that's 0. And we don't write 0x down. That just cancels, so that's gone. It eliminates. It's dead. Gone forever. Y's, same thing. I have a +6 plus a -6. You type that in a calculator, you get 0. That's gone. Now, when I bring my equal sign down, I have nothing left on the left-hand side, so I'm going to at least put 1 0 as a placeholder because there's nothing there. And then on the right side, I got 5 plus a -12. If you type that in a calculator, you will get -7. Now, just like substitution, when you're, in this case, both my variables dropped out, I have no variables left, and I'm only left with this little 0 equals -7. Do my numbers match? Does 0 match -7? Does 0 equal -7? No, it does not. So again, this is a special case, and the answer is going to be no solution. That's simple. Jump right into the second one. Number 2, I have all my x's, y's, equal signs, and constants already lined up. So right away, step 1 I can skip. Step 2, make sure that we have opposite coefficients. Well, let's see here. Looking at my y's, I have a +7, +4. Those are not opposites. Let's check the x's. Yes, -7 and a +7. So I have opposite signs as my coefficients for at least one of my variables. I do not have to do any manipulation. I can just go ahead, go right to step 3, and add these 2 equations together. So when I add my x's together, -7 plus 7, well, that's 0. So those eliminate. They're dead. They're gone. When I have 7 plus 4, well, 7 plus 4, that's going to go ahead and give me 11. Don't forget to bring down the y. And then when it comes to -14 plus a -8, be careful with your signs. Use calculator, double check your work. That'll give me a -22. Now, just like right here, we should only have 1 letter left, in which we do just a y. We're now going to solve for it. So I'm going to solve this little tiny equation, which is nice because this 11 is just a coefficient. So I'll divide both sides by that number. The 11's divide out. I'm left with y equals -22 divided by 11 is going to give me a -2. Perfect. Now remember, in our solution, just like when we graphed, the answer is always a point, an x value and a y value. We have the y value. So good, we're on the right track, but we're not done yet. We need to find the x value. And this part is going to be similar. So 5, reuse the original equation to find the other letter's number. It's just like substitution. We're just going to plug this into one of my originals and see what we get. We can use either one. I'm going to choose this bottom one. 7x plus 4y equals -8. Again, I'm going to plug in -2 for y because now I know that's what it equals to. And we're going to just simplify. So 7x I bring down because I have these parentheses here, which means multiply. 4 times a -2 is a -8. Bring down my equal sign, bring down my -8. Now I'm going to solve this 2-step. Move my constant. So I'm going to do opposite, add 8 to both sides. Those cancel. I bring down my 7x, bring down my equal sign. -8 plus 8 is 0. I got to move a coefficient, so I'm going to divide both sides. The 7's divide out. 0 divided by 7, that's going to give me 0. So my x value is 0. So there we go. My answer, my solution is 0, -2. Meaning if I were to graph these 2 equations, they would touch at that point. Hopefully you guys are having fun right now because I'm having a blast. Now let's go into problem number 3. So rule number 1, guideline number 1, line it up. It already is x's, y's, equal signs, and numbers. Perfect. I'm going to make sure at least one of my variables have opposite coefficients. Okay. Well, x's already have opposites, -8 and a +8. Those are opposites. Also, looks like we have y's also, +6, -6. Looks like we have opposites in both x and y's, mean they're probably both going to cancel. So this is going to be another special case. Guideline 3, let's add these things together. Add, draw my line, -8 + 8, well, that's going to be 0. I don't write 0x down, those cancel. Eliminates. Same thing with my y's. 6 plus a -6 becomes 0. Eliminates. And again, because I have nothing left on this left-hand side, I'm going to put a 0 there as just kind of like a placeholder. -30 + 30, again, that actually drops out. That becomes 0 too. So I'm going to put another 0 down. Back to what we were talking about before. My variables drop out. I'm left with no variables. Just like substitution, that means it's a special case. It's either going to be no solution or infinitely many solutions. Well, I look at what's left, and you ask yourself a simple question. Do these numbers match? Does 0 equal 0? Yes, they do. So this is going to be infinitely many solutions. IMS. So as a repeat, if your variables drop out and your numbers don't match, no solution. If they do match, infinitely many solutions. And just to recap, if your variables do not drop out, you will just go ahead and find your x value and y value in either order, and you'll be good. So with those 3 examples, hopefully you guys learned something. Rewatch the video if you need to. Have a great, wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay safe. Math is fun.